Tom, you're going to be up first. This is Tom Anderson. He's our declarant. So when you hear the word declarant, sometimes developer. Okay. We'll go on ahead. So go on ahead, Tom.
I didn't get to say hello. Good morning.
I'll come back.
I feel like I should just open it up for questions. Is that a better way to do this? Well, it's nice to see everybody. I don't have a huge list of, can you hear me okay? Yeah, I don't have a huge list of things to talk about. I'm really proud of the Grove. I just want you guys to know I love the Grove. And my wife has spent, in the winter, she does all the bookings. So the small stage on Friday night and the big concerts on Saturday night she's been working on. And I think the schedule is pretty locked down for the year. So we're always happy and excited, and we come for some of the shows and blah, 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 so it's really good. On the real estate stuff, it's kind of an interesting time, quite honestly, in the real estate stuff. The prices are holding. I think you guys are probably happy to hear that. There's been a lot of appreciation, a tremendous amount of appreciation since the start of COVID. This market is very much in balance. I think there's only 100 resale homes on the market. When I first bought the business, the average was 350. So, you know, the fact that there's a third of the houses that used to be on the market works favorably for price increases. So I think all of you that own homes here have probably seen good appreciation in your homes. We have built another road in the north called Maple Ridge that just finished. Well, we haven't put the paving down, but we're going to put the paving down as soon as the weather breaks. And we're going to start construction. I think we've got half a dozen new neighbors that have already signed up to build there. So those are higher end homes. And I know some of you live up in the north and some of you live in the south and live all over. I'm a firm believer that it takes a village, and you know, all of the development that's taking place right now at all the price points is helpful for the values of the whole community. We're still seeing a lot of people, you know, from the upper Midwest, which is our history, and California, which is sort of the new crowd. Arizona is starting to be a place that we're starting to see an interesting amount of people coming from as well. So we're closely marketing that. We just had our big annual show that we represent the community. We usually have it in Chicago, and this year they had it outside of Philadelphia. So it's a very different crowd for us. The Chicago people are very knowledgeable about Tennessee, and they're very interested in the Glade, and they have friends down here, and blah, blah, blah. The people in Pennsylvania, they all want to retire in North Carolina or South Carolina. So we spent a lot of time introducing Tennessee and the Glade and our benefits to a lot of people that we wouldn't ordinarily get to see. So we won't know for a year how it went, but we got a lot of good leads out of it. In terms of pricing, you know, everything from asphalt to cable to PVC pipe to lumber for framing and concrete for foundations. There's a huge run up in most of those prices during COVID. They've come down a tiny bit, but the good news is they've stabilized. So we have sort of, we're operating now at least in a range of certainty with people in terms of what we tell them we can do for them, or what we tell them we can build roads for, or what we tell them we can you know, run natural gas or fiber. So that part of it has settled down. It's at a higher number than it used to be, but I think everybody's trying to get used to it, like the price of eggs. Other than that, I don't know that I have any news. I would just like to say that I'm really committed to working with the club and the county and Wyndham to try and solve a legacy problem of a lack of infrastructure development that runs through the community that has trapped a lot of lot owners from being able to develop their properties. And the absorption in the marketplace over the last 10 years is eating through a lot of the lot inventory that already has roads and water and sewer. So there hasn't been a huge need to go into, you know, what I call the grassy knolls and start executing more development. But the absorption of those better lots is happening every year, and there's getting to be fewer and fewer of them. So I think we're at an inflection point where it's going to be necessary for the future growth of the community to start taking a hard look at some new roads. So that's my story.
Would that be roads and bridges?
Up, please come up. Because we have people streaming, they can't hear you from back there.
So would roads and bridges be responsible for adding new roads, or the developer?
No, the developer. It's a very, there's probably very little I can tell you about where you live, but I can tell you that, you know, this guy 50 years ago came up with this idea, and he executed some of it, but not all of it. And so, I mean, he got 5 golf courses in here, and he got, you know, the stables in here, and he got, you know, a shopping mall in here, and he sold a lot of houses. And then he had a lot of lots, and they sold a lot of lots, and the absorption just didn't keep up with the sales, and it's created sort of this problem that we're trying to solve right now with the club and the county and Wyndham on a lot of lots. The documents, the overriding documents for the Glade, give the declarant the sole rights to developing the roads and the water extensions, and the club runs the sewer. So it's you know, it's a two-way street between us. So we need to work together on where it is we want to expand and why. But it would be my capital that would be going out, not the clubs, on everything but the sewer, which is how the community's been running since the agreement was modified in the mid-1980s.
Nico Sergio. We had a discussion last month with Ellen about your process of developing roads and getting properties all joined together. And she stated that because of the properties were platted back in the 80s, they're restricted from being condos or townhouses or that type of thing. You own several hundred acres of undeveloped land that hasn't been platted. So it could be open to condos and townhouses. So I was curious about that. Have you done research? Because I hear from people that they're saying, I have this big house, I can't afford to maintain it anymore, my spouse died, I've lost half my income, and I want to downsize to a condo or a townhouse. And people do look at Good Samaritan, but a number of people have said that's a little bit pricier than what they're comfortable with. So have you done any research? Are you thinking about taking some of your undeveloped land, because then you can plat it any way you can not put restrictions on it, to develop townhouses or condos or that type of thing? And if that is not in your building plans, would you be willing to do that and then find other developers that build townhouses or condos or things like that?
I would, and I have, and I'm thinking about it. So that's a great question. I appreciate it. It's a tricky place. I just want you to know that because people hate stairs, right? So when you're looking at developing townhouses or condominiums, they're on a per square foot basis, they're more expensive than single family homes. And people want to have a mindset that they're less expensive. So they're like, oh my gosh, got this big house, 3,000 square foot house, you know, and it's worth, make it up, $600,000. And what I really need is a 2,000 square foot townhouse that's going to cost $400,000. But fortunately, the 2,000 square foot condo costs $600,000, and people kind of freak out when they realize that. The way to make it less expensive is to go up with it.
Right.
Right? So if we could put a product in place that was a 2 or 3 story townhome with a master on the first floor and then the second bedrooms and the office and whatnot up above it, we could get the price down. So I built one little spec house on Westchester with this in mind. Okay, I said, okay, I'm gonna try it, all right? So I'll be the only one that puts a house on the market with a 1-car garage, and I added 50% depth to the bay so that there's storage in addition to the 1 car. A master on the first floor and everything else upstairs. And it's still for sale if you want to buy it. So I'm with you that we need to evolve our product. I completely agree. I've just talked with Greg about it. I'm going to hopefully talk with the board at a broad level, but I do feel like some of the restrictions on development that were put in place in the 70s should probably we should all kind of look at it and pull it forward and see, it made sense then, you know, does it make sense now? So I am working with townhome developers in other areas that panelize them. So they would bring in an apartment or a townhouse on a truck and staple it together. We're just about to start a project with one of them, and I'm really fascinated to see how it comes out, because that could get the price point at a level that it would be effective here. But the stairs is really a challenge. I just have to tell you, and I'm getting older myself, right? So, and my knees aren't that great either. So I'm just trying to live with that restriction. But I will say, if you have to build a townhouse that looks like this versus a townhouse that looks like this, there's a big difference in the cost.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Yep.
Any other questions for
Anybody
Tom?
else?
Tom, how much is that house on Westchester? I'm just curious.
Well, it might be the least expensive new house for sale in the market. I think it's $389.
And square footage is?
1,300 and 1,450. My guy's here, so 1,450. And so, okay, I'll just say this. I'm a fan of the Glade to the point where I say to myself, people want a weekend here. You know, not they live here, yes, and weekend here for all the amenities. So I designed this product thinking that we would attract people from Knoxville or Nashville who want to be members of the golf or the pools or the community or the stables or anything. And stairs may be less of an issue, right? So, you know, this product would be right for a weekender. To your question about changing the product type, there's the rentals stuff too might be something that we looked at, because I think there's relative restrictions on rental terms, and that has changed a lot over 50 years in how people use their houses as investment vehicles. And so that might be something that we talk about as well. But did I answer the question? Did I answer your question? Yeah.
Anything else? Go ahead. Just come on up here so everybody can hear you.
I will say, somebody, one of the builders, took our design and is building it in the area that I don't develop in, the legacy area where the workforce was originally living. I forget the name of that area. Wilshire.
Wilshire,
Yeah.
yeah.
So somebody is trying to use that for workforce housing.
Mr. Anderson, can you hear me? Everybody hear me? Thank you.
Is that your matrix joke?
Is this
Let's not
better?
get that
Is
matrix.
that
That's better.
Okay. That should be better. Thank you for everything you're doing for Fairfield Glade, number one.
welcome.
I just have a couple of comments. It's really not questions, but your bungalow that you built on Westchester, beautiful home. We've looked at it multiple times, not to buy it, just because we're curious.
Right.
Whenever we drive around, we stop.
And I love
we-
bungalows, and I love front porches, and I love all that
Where
stuff,
you
know, so
put
I
it,
was like, huh?
you put it right on a
I know,
platted
well, we're
road.
using it as a sales center.
The
so
first
we
time I
want-
pulled in, I go, well, there's going to be a subdivision here someday, and guess what? If we buy this, we're going to be right on the corner where
Yeah.
the cement trucks are going through. So, bad location. Number two, you
Well,
hit
it's
the.
good for sales. I'm just
Well-
telling you, we have a lot of people, how many times you've been in now, you know right where it is.
You know where
Every
that
time
gravel,
drive
you know
by,
where that
stop
gravel
and
road
look
is?
at it.
Put some
So
topsoil
it's
down
a
and throw
trade,
some
it's a
weeds
trade.
on top of it, and people might,
Yeah.
that was a turnoff as soon as I saw that.
right.
Number two, we're all old people. You guys are all volunteers. We don't like stairs.
I know.
Stairs will kill you.
Yeah, I
Okay.
know.
You fall downstairs, you break a hip, you get pneumonia, and you're dead. Bing.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So don't be. If you build multiple level townhomes like we see out east in Baltimore and stuff like that,
Yeah, they're not gonna sell.
they're not going to sell. You're going to blow your money.
I
So
know.
don't
Thank
do
you,
that.
thank you.
Don't
I
do
know,
that.
I know.
All right.
I know, but that, there is, okay, so I'll say it this way. So my solution for that was to build the bungalow, because it is a townhouse, really. You got a first floor master, you're a widower, you're one car garage, and if your family comes or your friends come, hopefully they're able to go upstairs, you know? So that was developed on a small lot, right?
Yep.
At a price point that is cheaper than what we could do, you know, a connected townhome project with all of the parking and paving and landscaping and connectivity and soundproof walls and all the things that would have to go into attaching it. So I've had I don't want to say, I think if the sales guys were here, they say they've had maybe 1,000 people through the house, and a lot of people are very interested in it. And you're right, we put it there so people would see it. But I haven't sold one to somebody that says, I want this, put it over here, which is what I thought would happen. And I thought we would have sold 10 or 12 of them, and they'd be on a quiet street, they'd be on a cul-de-sac somewhere, they'd be somewhere that somebody that was downsizing, you know, would want to be. So the fact that the sales model didn't sell, I'm okay with. I'm just really shocked that didn't sell any more of the product type.
The type of townhomes I think that'll sell it. We live in Heatherhurst Townhomes, which is right off of Forest Hill, up Stonehenge. They're co-joined. It's one building, you know, 2 units. Everything is a ranch. I've been on the board there for 10 years, so I know exactly what all you guys go through, because I get it all, but only at a smaller scale. And are you familiar with some of the other townhomes here in Fairfield Glade that are built? There's a ton of them with that type of style. You have a building, 2 townhomes, although I'm not sure what you save in money by the co-joined wall, because the wall has to be a very good wall, and those aren't cheap to build. You know, with the fire stop in it, you know, the walls don't touch, and by the time you get done, the only thing you saved was siding.
Do you
on
have
the
a golf
outside.
course view, or some of them were
Some of
developed
them
with
have
a golf
golf course
course
views.
or a water view, some of the ones, you know, and that's where they can get the increased value.
Yep.
So they can cover the increased cost, right? So that's why the product can make sense based on where
But
it's.
the point also, are your realtors, you're in charge of, well, I don't know if you own or not, Fairfield Glade Homes?
I do.
Okay, so the realtors that are there, like at the bungalow, are they giving you feedback that they get from other people?
Every week.
Okay, good. All right, that's all I have.
Yeah, no, thank you. But I'm trying. I want you to know I'm trying. I'm trying to
we
address
know.
this problem of, I don't want to say widowers. I'm just saying, people who want to downsize and have
Yep.
been in the community a long time, and they don't want to move, and they don't want to maintain a big house, and they want to put some money in their pocket when they exit the big house.
But
And
I think-
the answer to that in my mind is maybe a townhome. I'll let you know when I get
Yeah.
better with these factory guys who are doing it, but for stick-built around here using our local subs, it's a product like the bungalow that is the best that we could come up with.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Okay, I will put in a little advertisement for you, Tom. We've had a lot of tough discussions, but I can honestly say, and this is important for the membership to understand, every time we've been in a discussion, I can honestly say that, Tom, you've always thought about what's best for Fairfield Glade. And I, for one, really appreciate that because it makes the working relationship much, much, much better. I would also say, for those of you that have taken a trip through our CNRs, this is the way it was set up. It was set up truly as a partnership between the declarant and the club. And I think that that's really what we're trying to do. And I've been very appreciative of the time that you've given, Tom, to talk about things. The agreement we signed at the end of last year, I think is a huge step forward. We'll be looking at some other things along those lines in the next couple of months. But I really thank you for coming in today and talking to the membership here. And
I'm a big fan.
Glad to work with
I
you.
love it here, so, yeah, thank you. And
Okay.
to you as well. The board's been great. Everybody's great. Abby at the Grove is great. I just want to say that. So put that on the record. All right.